Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Mortgage Coach Friday Mastermind. We're here every Friday at 9 o'clock to inspire you, to bring you best practices, to bring you amazing stories of top producers. Today, we have titled the conversation Scripts, and More Scripts with Jeremy Forcier. So Jeremy will be joining us in a matter of hopefully seconds, hopefully no more than minutes. Before that, Todd and I and Deborah had a few things to share. We just came off Scriptapalooza just a couple days ago. One thing I want to share with you guys is, we've done this event now for 4 years. This was the 5th year, and it's never been more successful. We had over 4,000 people sign up for the event. The video itself in YouTube has been watched over 2,000 times now. I'd say by the weekend, it'll be the most viewed video for the year in Mortgage Coach land. The feedback I've gotten via text, via private messenger is just astounding. So first of all, anybody and everybody that spent the time to send me, Deborah, or Todd a thank you or what you got from it, just know that that stokes us. That's the funnest part of doing events like this. Why don't we go around the room real quick? And Todd, what was your biggest takeaway, or what's a takeaway you want to share before we get Jeremy on stage?
Gosh, what I could talk all day about takeaways. I think, for me, the biggest thing that I walked away with it from is that everyone in our community has the power to do just what they do if they just spend a few minutes each day practicing their scripts. And I felt like every speaker added so much value, had something kind of unique to say. And I got from a lot of people still, I'm not that good. I don't say what Jeremy says, or I can't be like Shayla. And I'm laughing. I'm at a realtor mastermind. There's 70 agents over there in the room. And the 10-year-old daughter of Brett Tanner, who's running it, she just got up and she presented on mindset for a few minutes. And she said, I know if I think it, I can do it. She said, I want to do a tumbling trick, and I think about it and I make it happen. And he said, well, what would you tell all these real estate agents then when they go home and say, I can't do it in my market, I'm not like Brett, I'm not as good? She says, if you think it, you can do it. And I think that's what all of you need to hear today, because I know you guys can all crush it if you choose to.
Love that, Todd. Deborah, anything you want to bring to the call as we're waiting for J-Force?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone that has messaged me, DM'd, Facebook, texted. We had a lot of great feedback just from the event. And what I've been asking people, so if you're listening to this, we have the Modern Mortgage Summit and Real Estate Summit coming up May 25th. And so what I've been asking is, if you thought this was good, then you need to go ahead and prepare, save the date, mark the calendar, get your ticket, but also let us know of what you heard. What is it that was a highlight for you, or that you would want expanded upon, so we can be even more intentional with the presentations coming just, in a couple months, and literally in May. So I don't know, Todd and Dave, do you guys have the link ready for people who want to go ahead and get registered for the summit so they can?
We will post it up in there, modernmortgagesummit.com.
Yeah, guys, this is the 3rd year doing this, and it's one of the best events in the mortgage space, and it is the biggest and best virtual event, and it's all dedicated towards being modern. And I do want to remind people, being modern doesn't mean just using technology. While we do live in a technology-driven world, so technology it's communicating, it's connecting, it's distribution of ideas and strategies and philosophies, but as importantly, I'll say even more importantly, it's about leadership, and it's about value creation. I can't remember the exact words that I think he might have opened it up.
Cody Gibson?
No, on the Scriptapalooza, where he said it, rate's only an issue with absence of value.
Brian.
And the way you create value is leadership, and doing the same things that are the best practices over and over and over. So we got the man, we got the myth, Jeremy Forcier. What's up, big dog?
Oh, just chasing dogs in the morning outside my front yard with a suit on. It's all good though.
I wish that was live.
Oh, it was a nightmare, but here we are.
Fun.
Well, that reminds me of a story, but I'm not going to tell it because we don't want to spare a minute with you. I do want to, before we bring Jeremy on and we just drill him on scripts, and more scripts, is, Jeremy's been part of the mortgage coach community for, like forever. It's funny, I've had a couple things pop up on Facebook from like way back when, and I'm like, dude, it was before I had glasses, it was before I wore all black. It was, like we're talking some OG, like we go way back. And I was looking for, whenever I do these posts, I'm always like looking for pictures to post. And with Jeremy, I'm like, okay, I need a new picture. And I saw this picture with him and his wife, Kara. And dude, the one thing, everybody in the mortgage coach community knows Jeremy for what a baller of a loan officer he is, for what a hard working prospector he is. But dude, as hard as he works at that, he's a husband, he's a dad. His wife is awesome. I've had the chance of beating them at bocce ball a few times, and there's no one better to beat than these two. Although I think you guys beat Kelly and I last time we played, didn't you?
I mean, I was going to let you gloat, but we're actually tied, but it's all good.
I know. So
yeah,
Sid,
yeah.
my daughter, and I beat him and his wife once, and then they barely, I think he cheated.
Once.
All right, so we're tied up. So anyways, I just wanted to put a picture of him and his wife, because that's the other thing I want to say during these times of struggle. And it is a time of struggle. Obviously, you got to be a mortgage coach. You got to get your scripts on, and you got to work hard to have a whole family. And no one works harder than Jeremy to do that. So Jeremy, welcome to the stage, brother.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for waiting. I appreciate you guys a lot.
Okay, so we got a lot of scripts, and so Deborah and Todd, let's try to get through as many scripts. And if we give color after them, like let's keep it to 30 seconds so we can the world can hear Jeremy Forcier. So I know you covered this first one a little bit in Scriptapalooza, but give us 3 minutes on the script. Don't let your indecision keep you from making a good decision, both the borrower and the realtor version.
Yeah, so this applies to almost anyone that you're talking to that's indecisive. It doesn't matter if it's a borrower, realtor, I mean, it could be your kid, it could be anything. The script came about from interest rates rising quickly over the last few months, when I had many borrowers that are purchasing saying like, I don't know if I should buy right now because it's $200 more expensive. Or they would say, I don't know if I should offer $510,000. It's listed at $475,000. And they were really indecisive about making a decision moving forward. So, I started saying this to them, don't let indecision stop you from making a good decision, and redirect the conversation towards, why are you doing this? Which is really the most important thing, which is another script, by the way. So why are you doing this? Right? So why are you doing this? And you get people focused back on, hey, I'm refinancing because I want to completely remodel my house and I don't want to liquidate $100,000 from my 401k. Cool. Focus on that and move towards there. So don't let an indecision based on things you can't control stop you from making a good decision. People that wanted to offer, had this just happened to me this week, right? High-end buyer, he's been looking for 3 years. Owen, love you, Owen. If you see this somewhere on the internet, I love you, bro. And he literally was like, I'm going to offer 1.8, but just so you know, I'm totally cool going to 1.85, right? Like if we get counter. And I'm like, listen, man, why wouldn't you just offer 1.85? Like if you're going against 4 other people, if someone else got it at 1.85 and you don't get a counter, would you be upset? And he was like, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed. I said, well, don't let your indecision on $50,000 stop you from making a good decision, which is you really want this house. And he was like, you know what? You're right. Let's offer 1.85. I could go on and on about this, but indecision, right, usually stems from someone's afraid of something, right? Which is why, and I know I sound like a broken record, I've said this so many times on Mortgage Coach with my teams over and over and over again, is that our number one job is to be calm and to be confident, right? To be calm and to be confident. So when we're calm and we're confident, people will hear you better. Okay? People will hear you better. So I think indecision right now is a super hot topic, and getting people to focus on why they're doing things is more important than mortgage-backed securities, lock alert, down 41 basis points today. Like it's way more important than that. So getting people to move forward and focus on what's most important is critical.
And what is the TCA that goes along with that? I think I know the answer, but just for anyone that hasn't heard some of the past calls.
Yeah, so there's a number of iterations, right, with the TCA and using Indecision, but I'll give you one great example, right? Cash out refinance right now, showing them what the rate was 2 months ago. This is Andrea, okay? 2 months ago when they first talked to me and they didn't move forward, right? And then what it is today. So rate 2 months ago when we started, says when we started in the heading. Then the middle one is current, where we are now, right? Then the third column is where I think we will be. So it says future, okay? And what I'm showing is rate was lower, rate is higher in the middle, future, rate most likely to go way lower again. So take a profit now, cash out, future, rates go down. This is what your mortgage plan looks like. And this is what we can estimate what we think your monthly payment will be. So giving people that type of insight makes it easier for them to make a decision right now. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, why wouldn't they just wait 18 months, Jeremy? Why wouldn't they do that? Why wouldn't they just wait 18 months to pull out the 100 grand? So the script there is really simple. If we do go into some type of recession, and I am not a doom and gloom person, as you all know, but I'm a realist, right? So when the market does correct, which it will, because I've been wrong for 4 years, which means I'm closer to being right the longer I'm wrong. Okay, so when we do have a market correction and rates go down, home prices most likely for a period of time are going to be lower. Okay, they're going to be lower. Now, when that happens, Miss Bird, like, are you going to be able to do the cash out refi at 80% of today's value? Nope,
No.
you're not. So that's why you want to look at doing it right now. That's why you want to harvest the equity right now, if that's what's important to you for your goals. So there's many different moving parts when you're talking to someone, but you have to know what's most important to them right now and the reasons why they should do something right now that's in alignment with their goals versus waiting, crossing their fingers and hoping it's going to work out. So always take a profit when you can take a profit. Dave taught me that like 17 years ago. You can always take another profit in the future as well.
So Jeremy, she responded and said, well, what would that make me, would I be upside down? Like, is that still a decision?
Yeah. I mean, and these are real conversations that I have with the client, right? So in this particular scenario, their cash out refi and the LTV 66%, right now. So that means that literally it would have to go down 35%, right, for them to be like whole on a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, what's the likelihood of that happening? I have no idea. That's the honest answer. I mean, I have no clue, but guess what I do know? Seems like every time when things go upside down, there's great programs with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that don't care about LTV, that go into refinances. So if those things happen again, and if history has taught us anything, when equity does come down, is that there are programs always for rate and term refinances, right? So all I can ever point to is history and future, what we think. History, the past, here's what's happened in the past, and then future, here's what potentially could happen based on the data. And that's really all you can do. You're not talking someone into something that doesn't make sense. You're sharing your professional opinion with them, and your opinion can change based upon what happens. I call it an evolving opinion based on data that is brought to you on a day-to-day basis.
All right, guys. So we've got about 10 scripts, and I think we might have almost checked off 3. I do want to make sure, don't let the indecision keep you from making a good decision. You had borrower and realtor. And given that recruiting realtors is such a big priority, do you feel like you've covered that, or are we missing?
No, haven't covered that. Yeah. So with
getting more realtors is the top priority.
So let me give you a few different versions of this with realtors. Okay. So the first version I'm going to give you is, and I know that everyone watching this, we're in all different markets all over. So there's different contracts. Some places have loan contingencies in their contracts, some places don't. But where I live, loan contingencies is part of the contract, right? Meaning you have 7, 10, 15, 21 days to get your loan approved, and you can cancel anytime before that, right? And with no harm or foul to your earnest money deposit. So in my market, there are still agents who have never released loan contingency as part of their offer on a non-cash deal, right? So I get this call at least twice a week, like, hey, are you sure? Like, are you sure this seems really risky? I've never released a loan contingency, right? I've never released a loan contingency up front. Like, how can they get out of it if something goes wrong? And I asked them, I go, hey, do you think that the offer, if you were a listing agent, is going to be way stronger if you were looking at it and you have 3 offers with loan contingency and you have 1 without it at all, it's completely waived? And of course, Kathleen said in this example, well, yeah, the loan contingency waive would be way, way stronger. And I said, so let's not let our indecision, right, and your worry, your fear, stop you from counseling the client on making a good decision, right, on writing an offer with no finance contingencies. If I say we can release finance contingencies up front, I'm the lender, right? I'm the one who's saying, yes, it's 100% good to go. It's on me, it's not on you. So don't be indecisive about, writing like she was like, well, maybe we can keep 5 days in there. I'm like, well, why would you keep 5 days in a loan contingency, right? We might as well just waive it. And if I'm telling you that we can waive it, let's do that. Don't let your indecision on what you think may or may not happen stop you from making a good decision for the client, getting into escrow, and for you closing a deal. She was like, okay. So this goes into a different script that's on there as well, but I'll pause on it. That way we go through one by one. And what I want everyone watching this to realize is that on all these different scripts, you'll see that they intertwine and interweave with each other, in and out, right? So you could do 4 different scripts, and a script is a talking point. Everyone write that down. That's all a script is. A script is a talking point. Hey, a script is a talking point. That's all it is, right? So another indecision with an agent. I hold a weekly accountability group, right, with a group of 8 agents. And Kirsten Urbina was like saying, oh, I just really hate, making phone calls, right? So the accountability group, we do a weekly goal and then we do a consequence. So when I ask people like, hey, what do you really enjoy not doing? And someone tells me what they don't enjoy doing, guess what that becomes? Their consequence. If they don't do what they were supposed to do, it becomes their consequence. But then I had a conversation with her that was like, hey, like, that your consequence, what I'm giving you is really what you should be doing anyway, right? And she was like, well, I just don't enjoy it. And I said, well, do you enjoy closing more or less escrows? Okay, do you enjoy closing more or less escrows? She said, well, of course I want to close more escrows. Great. So stop being indecisive about who to call, when I should call, what to say, because that is a bad decision. Let's make a good decision and just make the calls, get more comfortable with it, prospect more, and then you're going to get more escrows. Doesn't that make sense? And she was like, yes, it totally makes sense. Great. So you can use the indecision with agents on a number of different topics, right? But really, whenever someone is questioning anything, questioning equals indecisive. And all you have to do is bring clarity to what the outcome could be if someone was decisive. And as long as it's a good decision and it benefits them, they will listen to you and they will follow suit.
Awesome. So, and remember, everybody, we've done this a bunch of times. What rates were, what they are, what they're going to be is a great purchase urgency strategy. That's going to help with this. The next script here, it says, and I think you might have already covered this, but it says, it doesn't make sense to do a cash out refi unless you have a purpose for that cash. Let's talk about purpose. You've kind of covered that, haven't you?
Well, no. Here, let's just run through it again. Okay. So basically this script talking point came from speaking to a borrower who wanted to look at a rate and term and a cash out refinance. Okay. A rate and term and a cash out refinance side by side. Now, first of all, the rate and term made no sense just with their scenario. Like, the rate would go up, the payment would go up, they wouldn't save any money, and it made no sense, right? Now, the cash out may or may not have made sense depending on what they wanted to do with the cash. So context is always extremely important, right? So when I showed them multiple options on the cash out, I started off by still showing them a rate and term refinance. And in the video saying, hey, the first column is the rate and term refinance. I think that you can realize that it doesn't make any sense to do whatsoever, right? Your payment's going to go up. You're not going to save money from an interest perspective, and you're going to stretch out your loan even longer. So that doesn't make any sense. So rather than just telling people, you guys, that stuff doesn't make sense, still showing them what doesn't make sense is more powerful. So this happens all the time with loan officers that work for me, by the way. They're like, well, I just told them it didn't make sense to do. And then they talk to someone else and somehow I lost the loan. And I'm like, well, yeah, because you didn't show them. Show them it doesn't make sense. Because I know plenty of loan officers that would say, oh, absolutely, we'll figure out a way. We'll figure out a way for it to make sense. And they will sell them on something that's not good for them. So still show them in the video, this doesn't make sense. Then I moved to the 2 cash out options, right? I showed them $25,000 out, $50,000 and $100,000 cash out. And that's where this script came from, of like walking them through and going, listen, here are 3 cash out options. Now, when you're looking at a cash out refinance, Mr. and Mrs. Borrower, the rate is the 3rd most important thing. That's what I always say, which is a script as well. The rate is the 3rd most important thing, right? What we want to do is make sure, number 1, we have a purpose for the cash. And number 2, we have a plan for the cash. Purpose for the cash, plan for the cash, and then the numbers are number 3, right? Interest rate, payments, etc. So there's really, you have to have a purpose for the cash that you're looking to use. So are you using it to consolidate debt, right? Do you have any debt to consolidate, right? Number 2, are you thinking about doing a big remodel, etc.? Or number 3, are you preparing for some type of life event? Those life events could be college. Those life events could be want to purchase a new home in the near future, but don't want to sell your house first, right? Those purposes could be looking to buy a second home. Those purposes could be waiting for the market to correct and buy an investment property. There are all different types of reasons, but you have to focus on what the purpose is for the cash to be impactful and influential.
So guys, and I want to make sure you all write this down, the most valuable purpose of all is to achieve their freedom point faster. If they could do that debt consol, take the same payment and either invest it with a financial planner, it could, like in many cases, especially in today's market with more equity, it could make them millionaires faster. It could help them pay off their debt faster. So just always be looking for freedom point is more valuable than interest rate. Anyways, I love that framework. I love that script. And that's also, guys, some great one-to-many content. When I just did an interview where literally the loan officer helped a doctor pay off their student loans, pay off a $100,000 loan to buy a practice. And literally it was going to increase their freedom point by 10 years. And they were going to have an extra $4 million in net worth in, I can't remember if it was 20 or 30 years. So remember that, guys.
Hey,
All
Dave,
right.
can I kind of pile one thing on real quick, Dave? I think that one of the keys there for those of you who aren't using a TCA with every client is the point that Jeremy said, is show them what doesn't work too. And if you're not using a TCA on every transaction, it's just a perfect example of why you should. So I appreciate, Jeremy, you showing, you bringing that point up, because I think it's so critical that you explain to people, because in their mind, if they don't believe, they're not always going to believe you if you tell them, but when you show them, they're going to believe it. And then you heard Jeremy say it, then that's when they're calling someone else and getting another opinion, and you maybe lose that opportunity.
100%.
I'm going to go a little out of order, but I want to get a realtor one in here. The script is, if I can help you close 3 extra transactions this year, would you be open to a 15-minute meeting, realtor?
Yeah.
Script.
Yeah. Hey, Dave, if I can help you close 3 extra transactions this year, would you be open to a 15-minute appointment?
It sounds interesting.
Come on, guys. How easy is it? It's my go-to script on cold call. Okay. It's my go-to script on the cold call. Is that number 1, played with this week, by the way. So ready? I'm going to role play with you, Dave. Sorry, I didn't ask you if it's okay.
Do it with Deborah. Deborah's a better role player.
Do it with
Queen
Deborah.
of role play, Deborah Bird.
Okay. Deborah, you've been
Bring it, Jay
initiated.
Force.
All right. Ring, ring, ring.
This is Deborah.
Hey, Deborah, it's Jeremy Forcier, Cross Country Mortgage. This is not a spam call. How are you today?
I'm good. Thanks.
Cool. So I just want to pause there for a second. Okay. So I've been playing with this this week. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to kill my dogs.
They're good with us, bro. Don't worry about it.
Hey, while they bark, should we talk about the Jeremy Forcier site visit, Dave?
Yeah, we're planning a site visit with Jeremy. It's going to be a premium site visit. If you want to get on the list, it's going to cost. I think last time he did it, it was $5,000. And it's going to be a small group of, for sure less than 12. If you want to get in on that, send Todd an email, todd@winbynoon.com. And Sean PETA has been contacted. We know Jeremy's being a little rough with his dogs right now, but
I was not. I'm glad that I had it muted, but I was not. So thank you guys for that. Yeah, can't wait for the site visit. It's going to be super fun. All right, so I've been playing with this like, hey, this is not a spam call. You want to know why? Because I was calling people over the last few weeks, and this originated originally from calling the listing agent when I'm making an offer, when a borrower is making an offer. And here's what I would hear. Dude, they're burnt out. They are talking to like 50 lenders are calling them like, hey, my offer's the best. Like,
that was
and
my
so
first thought is, do I have a listing and how many loan officers have called me already?
see, bingo. And that was the vibe I was getting, is I would hear the sigh, or I would hear this. If Deborah, if you were calling me, I'd hear, oh, hey, Deborah, what's up? Right. And the tone went down, and I was like, you know what? I don't like this. So I started experimenting with, hey, just so you know, this is not a spam call. Okay. I'm sure you get called constantly all the time. This isn't a spam call. And they lighten up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll keep going now. Hey, so Deborah, this is not a spam call. Is this an okay time for you?
Sure.
Hey, I just want to meet with you for 15 minutes and show you if I can help you close 3 extra transactions this year, if you'll meet with me for a 15-minute appointment.
Yeah, I'm really busy. So
I know. I only work with busy people. I'm super busy too.
all right. Is Zoom going to be good, or,
I literally will Zoom. I'll drive a chariot to your office. I'll send a raven, a pigeon, whatever you want. I'll make it as easy as possible. So if you want to meet at the tattoo shop, we can meet at my office, your office, whatever works for you. What are typically bad days for you?
Mondays and Fridays.
Awesome. Sounds like Wednesday is the day that we're going to meet. Would you like to meet in the morning or the afternoon?
I like hump day.
All right, me too. I'll see you.
Morning.
How about this? Let's meet right in the middle of the day, in the hump. Well, I'll meet you at 2 o'clock. I'll come to your office. Is that easy?
That sounds good.
All right, great. I'll see you then. I'll send you a calendar invite right now. Hope you have a great day. That's it.
Boom. I've heard so many versions of that over the years, guys. Anybody that's listening to this, we have a playlist called Scripts. And you can also, do a look in our channel, Jeremy Forcier Scripts. You've definitely put some nuances. I've never heard the spam piece, but the one thing that always amazes me is he's having fun, man. He's being himself, having fun. He's being a real person, and he's just having fun. So now, again, guys, Jeremy's done this thousands of times.
Yes.
He does this hundreds of times a week. So this is not a new game that he's playing. This is a game that he's been playing for 10 years, hundreds of times, and he's having fun.
Okay, I want to mix
anything
up. What
else?
if I would have said, Jeremy, as long as they're not buyers, because I don't want to deal with any buyers right now. They have worn me out. So if you've got sellers or potential listings, I'll meet with you.
Yeah, I have a strategy that you could literally generate an extra $8 million of listings in the next 90 days.
All right. I just don't want to work with buyers. So I don't want to waste
Me
your
neither.
time, waste my time. So you don't
Sellers
want to
are
work
the
with buyers?
no, sellers are the easiest loan I've ever done, because they actually don't need any of my time. But I'd be happy to meet with you and show you anyway. Great people should always know great people, and I'm only looking to work with the best. So I have crazy good strategies where you could generate a ton of listings. I could help with those listings as well. If I get buyers from it, great. But if not, ultimately, I just want to meet with you.
So Susan wants to know, what are the 3 strategies, Jeremy?
I didn't say 3 strategies. See, this person wasn't listening. Okay.
Well,
So
Susan,
I
sorry about that.
I said, no, it's okay. I said that on purpose because this came up in my Wednesday coffee talk with all my LOs. They were like, what are the 3 strategies? I go, you weren't listening. I didn't say I have 3 strategies for you. I will help you close 3 extra transactions. Okay. So it's, yeah. So you have to listen, you guys. Okay. So you have to listen. Don't miss it. I'm not knocking whoever said that. You have to listen. Right. So if I say 3 strategies, I'm effed. Because what would they say?
What are your three
Tell
strategies?
me the
What
three
are-
strategies.
What the person just asked. Well, what are the 3 strategies? No. I'm not giving you 3 strategies, right? I'm asking if I can help you close 3 extra transactions, right? This year. Would that be worth a 15-minute appointment?
What if they say, Jeremy, can you just tell me over the phone?
Sure, I'm happy to tell you over the phone, but I don't think you're going to get it. So I'd rather meet you in person, because if I just tell you over the phone, you're going to write down and scribble some notes down and you're not going to remember. And really, I should just show you exactly how it works. And I just have to ask you some questions. If you prefer to do it over the phone, that's perfectly fine. But a 15-minute appointment face-to-face will be much better, because you won't be looking at your phone, texting, on email, not focused. And if it's worth an extra $100,000 to you, I think it's worth a 15-minute appointment.
You know, I already have a lender that I really like. We've been working together for a long time. We never miss deals. I get at least 3 referrals from them right now. So why should I meet with you?
Well, I haven't even asked you for a referral yet. I just want to show you how you can close an extra 3 transactions this year.
But if my current lender's already doing that and we've got a great relationship, like I'm good, I've got a great lender partner.
That's cool. You should have a great lender partner, because you're a great realtor. What I also know is that 60% of marriages end in divorce. So I think it would be worth us to meet, even if nothing happens. If I can show you how to make an extra $100,000, I just think it's worth your time. And if not, I totally understand.
Yeah, you know, it's never
I
a
would
bad
add on,
idea.
and remember, this is 3 more. So hey, take those 3 and I'm here to show you to get 3 more.
So let me teach you a lower the bar close. Okay. So a lower the bar close would be, if someone was doing that to me, I did a takeaway close, just so you know, right there. That was a takeaway close. A lower the bar close would be, listen, what's the worst that could happen? I'm not going to ask you for any referrals. I'm not asking you like to be my partner. I'm not trying to disrupt your current relationship. All I literally want to do is meet you, so you know who I am. And if I can show you how to close 3 extra transactions, I think it would be worth your time. What's the worst that could happen? That's called a lower the bar close, right? It's like no commitment, no nothing. It's 15 minutes. Why wouldn't you do it? And by the way, it just doesn't work all the time. Okay. Like, I want to be really, really clear. It's not like I'm a batting 100. Okay. I made a list of 10 whale realtors, right? 2 weeks ago. I called all 10 in one day. I got 3 appointments. Okay. I got 3 of the 10. So that's 30%, right? So it's not like, I don't want anyone to think that like, this is like, oh dude, I'm going to do this and it's just, I'm going to crush the next 90 days. It's work, it's relationship building. It's just coming off calm, confident, and I'm probably more aggressive than I've ever been, for sure. Okay, with agents.
Do you ever slide in the DMs and like nurture, like and comment, give some love, and then you're asking for appointments in the DMs, or do you always do it via phone call?
Why do you want to ask me stuff you know that I don't do? Trying to point out my weaknesses.
Hey, I'm just
so
asking.
I know I'm playing. No, I literally spend 0 time on those platforms personally.
I just wonder if there's anyone else listening that maybe does.
Guys, we got 25 minutes and I want to make sure we get through this list. And then someone did ask, and let's not go into it yet, because I want to get the list that we told everybody we were going to cover about, now when you have the meeting, how do you help them get the 3 homes? We'll come back to that. But the next script is, so think about that, Jared, but we have time. Let's do it at the end.
I got it. I'm ready whenever.
Okay, Todd, make sure we don't forget that. So the next one is, you don't have an interest rate issue. Stop thinking about interest rate. You have a cash flow issue, client.
Cool. So this is usually on, everyone raise your hand right now in the audience who has a client who comes back to you every 2 years and needs $25,000. Okay, we're all raising our hand right now. So we all have those clients. So this happened just last week, which is where this generated from, where someone came back to me, and over the last 2 times this person has done it, they've been lucky. Interest rates are down each time that they want to do it. They want to pull some cash out, and it's always to consolidate debt, right? Like an RV loan, credit cards, etc. Context is important, which is why I'm explaining it. Has an investment on a house build out of state that has been delayed because of COVID for 3 years, right? Whenever that's done, planning on selling it, paying off their house. In the meantime, huge cash flow issue, right? And needs cash out just to keep getting by in their current situation because they live outside of their means. So this time when we spoke, his name's Sean. He was like, oh man, I really don't want to get rid of my 2.99%, 30-year fixed. I really, just don't want to do that. I don't know if I should move forward with the refinance at 3.99%, right? Cash out. And this is where I said, listen, you don't have an interest rate issue. You have a cash flow issue, right? You come back every couple years and you need money from your house because you're having a cash flow issue on paying your monthly payments with the money that you bring in each month. So what I would do this time is rather than take just enough out to pay everything off, I would take out enough to consolidate your debt. And why don't we just build yourself a 24-month cash flow reserve so that you don't have to come back? That way, when your investment actually does sell in the future, you won't have to do this again and again and again. Because every time you refinance, it does cost you money to do that. So if we just take out a buffer right now, if you don't need to use it, that's fantastic. That's what I prefer. But if you do, you won't have to come back and do another refinance, incur cost again and again and again. So you don't have an interest rate issue. Let's not focus on that. You have a cash flow issue. If we refinance and consolidate this right now, you're going to save $766 per month right now. And you're going to have a $25,000 cushion. I think that's going to set you up for success moving forward with what your goals and plans are. What do you think? And he said, I think that totally makes sense.
Boom.
Yeah.
Next one. If I tell you release your finance contingency up front, I personally guarantee your earnest deposit, and I don't know any other lender that will do that.
Yeah. How's that sound, y'all? That make some of your guys little, the backside pucker a little bit, a little tight. Ooh, gosh, I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know if I want to do that. So
that's confidence in your team, Jeremy. That means you guys are doing it right up front.
Listen, all I'm saying is that if I tell someone that they can release finance contingencies up front, I am not cavalier about that statement. Okay, that means I know it's fully underwritten and approved. We have all the documents. It is super tight deal. Like we are 100% good to go. No rock has been left unturned. And I am willing to put my money where my mouth is, right? Hey, if I tell you you can do something, now there always comes 4 asterisks with this, by the way, okay? So the asterisk number 1 is fully underwritten and approved upfront prior to contract acceptance, okay? So that has to be done. So really what could go wrong? They could lose their job. Oh, asterisk number 2, must still have the same job, right? And income, right? During the whole loan process. Asterisk number 3, appraisal, any subject to items that are called out on the appraisal must be fixed prior to the close of escrow, right? And asterisk number 4, if it is a condo with an HOA, right, that the condo has to be approved with no litigation in it. So those are my 4 asterisks. Now, what could go wrong, you guys, outside of that? Almost nothing is the answer. So why wouldn't I guarantee? Now, this came up in Wednesday on my call with my LOs as well. Blaney asked me, well, what if it's a $2 million purchase and it's a $60,000 EMD? Are you still going to guarantee it? Yeah, totally. Well, what if you don't feel comfortable with the loan? Well, then I'm not going to guarantee it. Like, use common sense. Okay, so I'm super simple. I think you guys know that. Very, very simple. I use common sense. I'm not telling every single person they can make offers with no finance contingencies and stuff like that. I am looking at it and going, oh, that's a duck. Cool. Ducks can swim. The duck goes in the water and it's going to be okay. I'm not saying, oh, that's a bulldog. Bulldogs can swim and I'm going to throw the bulldog in the water and it's going to drown. I'm not doing that with my clients and with my loans and with my guarantees. I know it's a tight deal. If you don't think it's a tight deal and you're nervous about it, don't do something like that. But if you know it's really, really tight, it's a great script and it helps realtors win deals. Okay, Rosa, who I work with, great agent. I wish everyone was like her. She's fan-flippin-tastic. Like, she literally emailed me last week is, thank you so much because you're helping me win deals for my buyers. You are helping me win deals for my buyers. Patty Moore says the same thing to me all the time, right? So I'm helping them win deals, get into contract, but it has to be super tight up front.
So next one. Well, the only thing I want to say that one, we've been getting a lot of questions in the Facebook group around how do I compete with cash offers? And guys, there's no guarantee, but Jeremy did just give you one idea. And I have a feeling this next script is going to be another one. If we don't close on time, I will pay your seller $1,000 a day.
Yep. Just emailed it out this morning, right? So I asked to be included on all offers that are made. I asked to be included on the offer to the listing agent. That way I can reply all with that statement, as well as call them and make sure they understand what my guarantee is. Okay. So basically when we make an offer, this isn't in the offer, by the way, but when they make an offer, I reply all and say, hey, borrower has been fully underwritten and approved. We guarantee an on-time close for your seller, or I will pay the seller $1,000 per day per diem. Okay, and then I call them and I say the same thing and follow up. No one's doing that. Another version of that, by the way, is if I don't know if we can close like exactly on time, which happens, you guys, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't know, this one's like really tight time frame. Like I will say, hey, I guarantee a close of escrow to your seller, or I will pay a penalty of $10,000. Okay, so there's different versions, right, that you can do. That's going to help people win more deals. This happened last week with a realtor who I've never worked with in Napa. Nikki seemed super cool when I talked to her, explained this to her, and her response was, man, I've never had a lender offer that and call me and offer that. And I just find that my lenders in the past are just in and out. They're good sometimes and they're not. I would love to meet with you, and get to know you a little bit better. We didn't get the deal, by the way, but I have an appointment with her, which is why I'm dressed up today, in an hour and a half. Okay, so using these type of scripts not only will help you win more deals, it's going to get you appointments with agents as well.
Love, love, love. So we got two more and then we'll go free flow, guys, and put your questions in as you have them. Don't box yourself into a condo only. You can buy 115,000 more expensive single family home and keep your payments the same. Let me show you client and realtor version.
Yep. So this is great. Whenever we pre-approve someone and they say that they are looking at condos, okay? In my market, condos have very expensive HOAs. Now on the low end, they're like $250 a month, but they can go up to like $750 a month in HOA dues. Okay, so sometimes people think that they want a condo and they're disappointed. Okay, they're disappointed in the fact that they can afford a $500,000 condo, right? Because it has a $600 HOA due. So what I showed in this scenario, this happened, right? And I include the realtor on the TCA. Column 1, condo purchase. Column 2, hey, single family residence purchase. And the script within it is exactly what Dave said, is that, hey, I showed you 2 different columns here. Column number 1 is a condo purchase just as you asked for. Now, column number 2 is something for you to think about, because I don't want you to box yourself into thinking you can only look at condominiums. Column number 2 is showing you that you can purchase $115,000 more in purchase price. Your payment is going to stay exactly the same, cash out of pocket exactly the same, but because you don't have HOA dues. And then I walk them through the TCA to show them. Okay, so now the realtor was super impressed with this, number 1, because they're like, oh, it's so great that we don't have to just look at condos, right? You gave them different options. That's fantastic. Guess what? Realtors make more money, by the way, on higher purchase prices. So the purchase price went up, their paycheck potential went up, and the client has options now to not box themselves into a very small group of listings that are available.
Can you send me the TCA on that one?
Yeah.
I want to, guys, I've heard that before, but that is pure gold in this market. That is a lunch and learn with realtors, or a 15-minute meeting with realtors. That right there will be part of, the question when he said, hey, meet with me and I'll show you how to sell 3 more homes. That's might be 3 more homes right there. And also, guys, it's a wow to agents. What other loan officer who's doing pre-quals is saying, hey, here's the condo, here's you make more money and the realtor makes more money option, and you have more homes to pick from. So guys, that's pure gold in this market. We will probably do more content around that. We'll do anybody who doesn't know how to do that, we can train on Wednesday on that. So
I'll send you that TCA, Dave. And what's interesting, what you will all see on it is that not only was the payment quote unquote the same, it was actually $12 a month less. So that's even more powerful. If you can show them that it's actually slightly less. Like if you go up $100,000, right, in purchase price, very powerful.
And then the other thing, guys, put in the appreciation rate of real estate and then show them what their net worth looks like in 5 years, in 15 years. And now it's like, ooh, that single family residence is looking a whole lot better from a wealth and from a financial freedom standpoint. Is there a realtor version of that?
Well, no, I include the realtor on it, right? So
Okay.
what happened on that particular scenario is that Ashley called me afterwards, the agent, and she was like, Jeremy, that was fantastic, right? Thank you so much. I didn't even think about it. I've never thought about actually having that conversation with someone before, right? Because here's the thing, realtors and us, mortgage professionals, salespeople, we're just listening to fulfill the need or find the need and fulfill it, right? Find the need and fulfill it. We have to think, find the need, fulfill it, and create maybe a new need they didn't think about, right? Find the need, fulfill it, and create a new need that they're not thinking about. That's how I look at all situations and scenarios when I'm talking to someone. Now, if you notice, that has nothing to do with interest rates. Actually, everything that we've talked about today has nothing to do with interest rates. I think it's so important to highlight that and pound that into everyone, is that all of these conversations have nothing to do with rates. It has to do with strategies, which is way more powerful.
So Todd and Deborah, get ready. I'm going to ask Jeremy one more script and then, give takeaways. Be looking at the audience, both in Facebook and in YouTube. Well, YouTube's not here yet, but we'll get any of your questions answered. The last one on the list that you sent me is, there are only 3 reasons to refinance: to lower your monthly payments, to shorten your term, or to take cash out client.
Yep. So I get a lot of I use HomeBot, and I have a lot of people who accidentally click buttons in HomeBot, which I love, right? They'll click like the wave looking in new markets, or they'll click on the like, what would my mortgage payment be? Or how's my neighborhood doing? Stuff like that. I always reach out to 100% of them, whether they did it on purpose or on accident, right? And the most frequent question I get is, hey, should I look at refinancing right now? They don't even know what they're asking, right? Should I look at refinancing right now? And the script that I use is exactly what you just went over, is that, there's really only 3 reasons, right, to do a refinance, right? Number 1 is going to be to lower your monthly payments. Number 2 is going to be to shorten the time frame on your loan, or number 3 is going to take cash out. Now, a different version of this that I've used would be to shorten your time frame of your loan, okay, to lower your monthly payments, or to remodel your house into your dream home. That's another version of it, right, that I've said, which is casting a vision for them of like what could be. So that way you're having a constructive conversation. And then you just ask very simply, which one of those 3 is the most attractive to you? Which one of those 3 options is the most attractive to you? Now, if Todd said, lower my monthly payments, I would say it is not a good time to do that. Give good advice, right? If Todd said, shorten the amount of time, right, on my loan, I would say, great. Why don't we look at what you have right now compared to a 15-year fixed rate mortgage, compared to what if you just paid extra on your current loan right now and you don't need to refinance? So you're creating opportunities for yourself to show them through a TCA different options. And you're telling them, I tell everyone all the time, hey, if it doesn't make sense to do, I'm going to be the first one to tell you. But let's look at the numbers.
So one more, I don't know what direction you're gonna take this. So I did an interview, that loan officer interview that I did last week, where the client ended up having an extra 4 million in net worth. It came because it was powered by a sales boomerang mortgage inquiry alert. So he got an inquiry saying, hey, this person's shopping. He called them. They had just applied with their big bank, and big bank said, oh, this is the rate. And then he was like, well, hey, do you want the lowest rate, or do you want the fastest freedom point? And he walked him through that. So the 3 most common alerts that we're seeing with sales boomerang right now are mortgage inquiry alerts, cash out alerts, where we know how much equity they have, and we know that there's a cash out, like boom, cash out opportunity. What would be your scripts for those? You know, an inquiry alert or a cash out alert?
Yep. So we get inquiry alerts as well through the same platform. And we just, number one, you have to reach out, right? Just reach out right away. This happened to me yesterday, right, with Sarah. And by the way, I forgot that I talked to her a few months ago. And because she was wanting to look at doing a cash out for a solar project. Okay. And I said it didn't make sense because it didn't with what I could offer. I forgot that she has a special deal within her employer who is offering like way below market. They're doing the whole thing, Silicon Valley Bank, right? And they were able to do something. But I still reached out and said, hey, I noticed that, you're in the market for something. I'd call it out for what it is for the record. Hey, I saw that you're doing this, right? And I just wanted to check in with you and see, is there anything I can do? Are you looking to sell your house? Are you looking, et cetera? And so I would say call it out, number one, and then just ask them, what are you looking to do? And I would love to provide you some different options that might help you increase your wealth faster. So I love focusing on increasing the wealth faster, right? It's something that I cover with all of my buyers up front is that, of course, we want to get you the best deal over, but more importantly, I want to go through strategies that are going to help you build wealth faster. Is that interesting to you? I've never had someone say, nope, don't want to build wealth faster. That sounds stupid. I've never, ever, ever, ever had anyone say that ever. So, my job is to make sure that number one, of course, we get you the best deal possible, but number two, that we're focused on a strategy that's going to help you build your wealth faster. Is that interesting to you? Yes.
So guys, that's Jeremy Script. Another one that I've heard a lot is will help you hit your financial freedom point faster. And then go into a conversation around what is their financial freedom? Is it paying off their house? Is it having 4 million in the bank? What is it? And then you're playing a different game, guys. You're giving them a total cost analysis that helps them build their wealth faster. And now you've changed the game, and rate doesn't matter because you've delivered so much value. So Todd, you go first. Comments or questions from what you've heard? We've gone through every script.
I mean, comments as always, Jeremy, you just always crush and bring a ton of value. I apologize. It's super loud here because the 70 realtors are all on break. So they're all on their cell phones around me talking loud, but let's just jump in there. How are you going to help a realtor close 3 more transactions this year since our audience is dying to know?
Yep. So this is almost like a whole nother hour training. I'll say that first. Okay. Is that because you have to do investigative work first before you know how you can help the realtor. And that's the truth, right? I don't come in guns blazing going, hey, we got 15 minutes. I'm going to show you 4 different ways, right? I'm asking questions about where they're having success in their business. By the way, 5 questions, YouTube, check it out. Mortgage Coach on their page. Like, where are you having your most success? Where are you having your biggest challenge? What's most important to you? Et cetera, et cetera. I'm going through my questions with them quickly first. And then I'm pointing out things that I see through our conversation that they're not doing, right? So I'll give you one example. The CCR, by the way, which is current client referral, is the most ignored and easiest referral process for real estate agents. And it's the most ignored. So a current client referral is someone who is like looking to buy, or they know that they're going to sell or list at some point here in the future. They're in the pipeline, but they're not like closed yet. Okay. Those are actually the easiest people to get referrals from. So like Todd, if you were the agent, I'd be like, do you know what a CCR is? That's the question. No, they all say no. And I go, it's a current client referral. A current client referral is someone who you haven't closed yet, but you've showed them homes, you've met with them. It might be a listing, that's coming on in 2 months, et cetera. And you have to have a process around that, right? In order to harvest referrals from them, because it's easier to get referrals from a client before they have actually closed. So I have a process that I could walk you through. Number one, you have to program them first. I'm going to send you some documents when I go back to my office that shows you how you can program. You can edit the document for yourself, where you're letting them know that this is what's most important to you, that you give them world-class service and experience. And when they're out talking to people, they're going to start realizing that their conversations are more around real estate because that's something they're going through, right? And all we ask is that if we do a great job, is that if you can introduce us to 2 of your friends, family members, or coworkers during the process. So programming is number 1. Number 2 is that you have to have a process for following up with these people. I have so many agents that I work with that will call me for an update, like on a client. And I was like, hey, when was the last time you talked to them? They're like, I haven't. That's why I was asking you, like, how are they doing? Right. And I'm like, well, you have to have a process to follow up with these people at least 1 time per week. Right? 1 time per week. So you're staying in contact with them and you'll have more opportunity to ask for referrals like during that process. And then the number 3 touch point to get CCRs is to celebrate at any celebration point. When they get pre-approved, you should be in touch with them asking for a referral. When their contract gets accepted, you should be asking for a referral. I have a form that I can show you called We Need Your Help, and you can use it with your clients and send it to them. And you can use it at the closing table where it's part of the document package where they will actively give you names and phone numbers of people they think you should connect with as well. It's a really simple process. We can meet on it another time. I told you we'd only meet for 15 minutes today, so I want to be respectful of that. So let's just book our next appointment now and we can go through the whole process and I can show you how it works.
So guys, I'm going to book more time with Jay Forrest. I don't know when it will be. And remember, his site visit is amazing. So if you want to go on site, spend a full day, last time we did dinner the night before with him and his amazing wife. We had we didn't do much for breakfast because it was like some people went and worked out. It's like the day in the life of Jeremy Forcier, starting with the workout and then, healthy food during the day. And then, yeah, we did have a great dinner with good wine, and it was an amazing experience. So if you want to go deep and see what it's like to live Jeremy's life for a day, even make some actual calls, we did it. We sat around and watched him run a daily huddle. Well, actually, his team ran it, but he showed us the psychology around that and how he interacted with his team. So email Todd at winbynoon.com. Here's another ask, guys. So Jeremy just gave us a couple ideas on how you could have it within a 15-minute conversation, help a realtor close 3 extra deals that year. You know what? I can already think of 3 or 4. If you have an idea, like if I had that meeting with a realtor, this is what I would show them. Put that in chat. We'll create a playbook. Jeremy, myself, and Todd will come back. Maybe it'll be a week, maybe it'll be a month, and we'll just drill down on that. What are all the ways that we can meet with a realtor for 15 minutes and help and show them how they can close extra 3 deals? Deborah Bird, closing thoughts or comments?
No, I love that strategy that Jeremy just shared, and something that long ago that we used to do is when we gave a client their lender homework, like as soon as you're about to send disclosures out and you have that updated needs list, we mailed them a card, and I got the idea from my dentist and told them their job by the time we get to the closing table is to fill out 3 names on that card of anyone they can think of in their friend, work circles, that would be interested or have thought about buying, selling, investing in real estate. So we mailed them that card. They would give it to us at closing, and we would give it to the agent as their gift, because we would remind them that's the best way to thank your real estate agent is not a bottle of wine, it's a referral.
Love it. So
That's money.
Guys, couple things as we wrap up today. One, I'm doing a quick, fast track your success mortgage coach training at 1:00 today. So anybody that's kind of new and you just want to get off to the races, I think we've got over 100 people signed up. It's going to be a badass training. Come check me out, sign up in the group. Todd and I put a link to the survey for Scriptapalooza. We know we killed it. We know it was one of the best in 5 years, but we want to know what you think. Like, go in there, score the speakers. We want to know who won because we're competitive. Like, who got the highest score? And then I know we can do better. So, check out the last question and let us know what we can do better, because we can always do better. And then guys, I'm serious about this. And Deborah, how about you help organize this? Let's come up with a list of all the mortgage coach strategies to help a realtor sell 3 more homes in a 15-minute meeting. Let's create a list around that with strategies. And then the other thing, Jeremy gave us 2-3 ideas on how to help beat, win the deal from a buyer when you're competing with cash. And let's face it, guys, in this market, there's multiple offers. Jeremy, what percentage of the time is one of the offers you're competing with cash that you know of?
A lot. So
100,
let's call
like
it
80% of the time?
no 50%. I consider 50% a lot. Yeah, probably 50%
I
of the
consider
time.
50% a lot too.
Yeah, yeah,
So there you go. At what percent of the time are there multiple offers?
80 plus.
Okay, so guys, 80% you're competing with multiple offers, 50%, one of those is cash. Guys, this is a time to pick up market share. This is a time to improve your sales skills. Like I'm going to start doing a weekly sales training in the mortgage coach community, and I'm going to invite Jeremy and other badass managers. If you're a branch manager or regional leader and you're not doing sales meetings with your team weekly, Jeremy, what do you think? Is that a miss?
Yeah. It's beyond a miss. I mean, it's no brainer. I mean, I do them every other week with my whole sales force as well and go over all this. And by the way, I'm happy to send you guys my list. Like everyone's saying, like, what are different strategies you talk about with when you're meeting with an agent? It's so simple. Don't overthink it. And you only want to go over one strategy, just so you know, at a time. You don't want to,
Cool.
that's my opinion. Now,
Cool.
why
Well,
I would,
no, I believe
yeah.
you. That sounds makes sense.
I would rather meet with Deborah 7 times and go over one strategy every single time. CMA a day is one of mine, by the way. Appraisal gap is one of mine. Single premium mortgage insurance, qualify for more, is one of mine. No contingencies, my guarantee, is one of mine. Like, you just make a list of all the different things that you can do. How to use a lead tracker, how to have a process for follow-up with new lead flow every other day for 4 weeks, and then one time a week for a month, and then one time a month for a year. You just make a list of all the stuff you kind of already do or that you know about, and then you just give them what you feel their pain point is in that meeting, and then you schedule another meeting, and you could do that over and over and over and over again.
Well, boom, guys. All right. Well, this is a wrap. If you are not subscribing to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel, you are missing out on pure gold as a mortgage professional. Be active in our Facebook group. Sign up for the Modern Mortgage Summit. You know, game on. It is May 5th. First
May
half of the day-
25th.
May 25th, 5. First half is going to be badass loan officers, and the second half of the day is going to be badass realtors. And we promise you 3 extra loans that month. So 3 extra loans that month if you sign up for the Modern Mortgage Summit. Take care, y'all. Jeremy.
All right,
you rock,
guys,
bro.
later.
So good, J Force. Good
Dude,
seeing you,
we're
brother.
bro. See you guys later.